Today, I'm going to be showing you how to create display ads like this or like this. Some people call them banner ads, but regardless, I'm going to be showing you how to create these using your Google Ads account. And more importantly, I'm going to be showing you how to target the right people when you're running these display ads. Because if you target the wrong audiences, sometimes you can waste a lot of money. And also stick around to the end because I'm going to be showing you different optimizations after these ads start running to ensure you are getting the most bang for your buck. So here we are inside of Google Ads now. Of course, in order to run a display campaign inside of Google Ads, you have to have an account created. I'm not going to go over how to create a Google Ads account inside of this tutorial. If you want help setting that up, you can check out the resources down below where I talk about how to set up a Google Ads account. But we're going to jump right into the display campaign creation. So you're going to hit this blue plus button here. You're going to hit new campaign. And then from here, there are a lot of different marketing objectives that you can choose. But we're going to, for this example, do sales. And then our conversion action, we're going to hit continue. And then from here, we want to hit display. It's going to ask for our business website. For this, we are going to use my demo e-commerce store called mozohouse.com. We'll just call this display test. We'll hit continue. Then now it's going to ask for the campaign settings. So we're going to go to United States, go through and click here. You can go through and target however you'd like. I do recommend changing this to people in or regularly in your targeted location. Languages, we're going to keep that as is. More settings, you can click inside of here. And here's where you can do an ad schedule if you'd like for these display ads, which it could be helpful for display ads specifically. And we'll close that. More settings. Inside of here, you can target on different devices. So say that if you didn't want to run your display ads on mobile or desktop for whatever reason. And then a couple of other settings to be aware of is the ad rotation. I recommend keeping this on best performing as it's set. Show all devices. This is where you can go through and change it from desktop, mobile, or tablet if you'd like to set a specific device targeting. And we don't need to worry about campaign URL options or dynamic search ads. Start and end date is where you can go through and add a start and end date here. Say we wanted to start this, next month for whatever reason, we could do that and then have the end date be the end of that month. And then the last thing that I do want you to be aware of when it comes to display ads is content exclusions. This is important to understand. So content exclusions is exactly what it sounds like. You can see there's all sorts of different content on the internet, and you can opt out of showing for things like mature audiences or content that isn't yet labeled, just to make sure that your brand isn't being associated with something that maybe you don't want to. Say that there's a blog or something that may be suggestive in certain ways. You'll want to make sure that your brand isn't being associated with that if that's important to your brand. For instance, some of these ones over here that we go through and check and say, okay, we don't want to be have our banner ads showing on these. So it's kind of weird. You have to the ones that you check are the ones that you won't show up for essentially inside of here. So if you wanted to be really safe, you can come through and only do, general audiences. So something to be aware of for me, typically depending on the brand that I'm working with, I will opt out of content not yet labeled and then mature audiences. And then most of the time I will opt out of most of these in this middle column as well. I worry less about this and don't really opt out to many of those as often. So now we can go through and hit next. And then here's where you can go through and add your bidding. For us, we're going to just start at, $20 a day. And then now we go on to bidding. Now there's lots of different ways that you can go through and bid. You have conversions, conversion value, viewable impressions, all sorts of different things. We're going to keep this on conversions and we're going to manually set our bid. And then here's where you can enter your average CPC that you want to bid for this ad group. Now, if you are brand new to display ads, you may be wondering what the heck is a good bid. Now, keep in mind that display ads are dramatically cheaper than search ads. But if you want kind of a rough benchmark or a guide, I will link this down below. This is a really helpful resource to kind of get an idea of where maybe you should start your bidding. So here you can see, here are the average cost per clicks in 2020. This is by WordStream. This is search. And then here is Google Display Network or display ads essentially. So go through and find your industry inside of here. And you could, if you have no idea what your average CPC should be or bid at, you can kind of take this as an average. So say that we were in the e-commerce space, our average cost per click for the display network is 45 cents. So I'm going to come over here and say, okay, let's bid actually 46 cents. And of course you can go through and adjust this as you need, but that's just like a good rule of thumb. So now we're going to hit next. And then we want to click on this ad targeting options right here. As you can see, there are lots of different ways to target users inside of your account. There's audience segments, there's demographics, keywords, topics, and placements. We're going to be going over all of these really quickly to give you an idea of what you can do. So audience segments, if you click inside of here. So as you can see here, based on the website that you put in, Google is going to go through and suggest some different audiences for you. You can go through and see if these are good audiences. You can see it's based on advertisers like you. But what I typically like to do is come in here to the browse, and you can see that then even in this audience segment, there's even more ways to target people, is who they are, what their interests are, what they're actively or researching for or planning, how they interacted with your business, your combination audience segments, and then your audience segments as well. So who they are is we can come through and do, parental status, marital status, their education, home ownership, different things like that. For what the interest them, there's lots of different interests inside of here. For us, we are an e-commerce store that focuses on home decor things. So what I may like to do is come in here and say, okay, what in the home and garden niche applies to my market, to my target? So I can come through over here and home and garden, home decor enthusiasts, like that's a great one for me to go through and target. And then as we scroll down here, we can maybe find other ones. Shoppers might be a good one as well. We want shopping enthusiasts as well. That's a great one. So we'll keep those. Then we can come back, and then you can also go through and overlay the audiences. Now you can see here in this right-hand corner, it's going to tell you the amount of impressions and the amount of clicks that Google thinks you will get based on your budget and who you're targeting. So our average CPC right now is going to be between 29 cents and 51 cents, and then clicks are going to be around 280 to 560. As we go through and adjust these audiences, that will of course go through and adjust as well. So now we come back over here to the browse. You can come to in the in-market audiences. In-market, these are people that are actively searching for a product or service. So I find that in-market audiences are more of a hot audience to target. Most of the time, in-market audiences are the ones that I use. So if we come down here, let's see if we can find a very similar audience to, so we're going to come down here to home and garden again. And then here there's even more. So home decor, in-market. So these are people that are looking for home decor items. I have lights and fixtures, so I think that would be a great one for us. Home furnishings would be a really good one, and there's another breakdown as well. Bedroom, we have things for living rooms, for kitchen. As you can see over here, here's all of the different places. So we have kitchen, vases, racks, walls, bathroom, essentially. So I'm going to go through and target all of those. And to be honest, so affinity audiences are a little bit more broad. In-market audiences are a little more targeted. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to exit out of the affinity audiences. And I want to do the in-market ones right here because I think they're going to target people that are a little bit more ready to purchase. So now we're going to come over here. And then how they've interacted with your business. This is where you can come through and do different website visitors. So people that have, everybody who's come through and hit your landing page and didn't convert, or all website visitors, all converters. Here you can go through and build different audiences as well, which can become very powerful. And then wrapping things up here, you have combined audiences, where you can actually go through and say this audience combined with this audience, essentially. So this segment name and this segment name. I'm not going to get into this too much in this one. It's a little bit more advanced, but just know that that is an option as we come back over here. And then we have your audience segments as well that you can go through and create custom segments. This is a really powerful tool and one of the best targeting options inside of Google. Here you can create custom segments essentially, and it's what it sounds like is you can target people with any of these interests or purchase intentions, or target people who are searching for any of these terms. So say that for our example, we have this store right here, and we want to target people who are interested in kitchen decor. So we can come through and we can say, okay, if people that are searching for kitchen decor, and then it's going to come up with a lot of different options here. So small interior house design for kitchen, small living room ideas, people that are just looking for lots of different decor ideas, kitchen wall shelves. And as you can see, as we go through and build out this custom audience, Google is going to tell us the amount of weekly impressions we get, the gender, the age, the parental status, and the home topics that these kind of people are interested in. So this is a very powerful way to customize the way that you are targeting people. So if you want to target people that are searching for things inside of Google, you do this option. If you want general interest, this is just data that Google has on people, you can come through and do this as well. And you can type in all the different keywords, and it's going to give you a slightly bigger audience most of the time. So here, I'm just going to call this segment kitchen decor, and then we can save this and then go through and target that audience inside of the segment. So now it's inside of there as well. So I don't generally recommend going through and mixing audiences like this. Typically, you see we have in-market audiences and then we have custom segments as well. I recommend choosing one or the other to start off your targeting, and then creating another ad group and testing in-market segments against, your custom segments or whatever other targeting options you may decide. And to be honest with you, when I'm running display campaigns, most of the time it's either these in-market audiences that I'm targeting or this custom segments. And so we're going to quickly run through all these other ones over here as well, so you get an idea what they are, but we're going to kind of breeze through them very quickly. So here we have demographics. So this is exactly what it sounds like. You can target by gender, age, parental status, household income. In the keyword topics, this is where you can go through and target specific keywords. But like I said, most of the time your custom segments are going to be a better option for this, for you to actually go through and target those keywords in a more specific way. Next, we have the topics. So this is where you can go through and target specific topics. So if a blog talks about auto and vehicles, or computer and finance, or business and industrial, this is a way to broadly target your display ads if you have a really big budget and you just want to show up for anything and everything related to finance or food and drinks or any of these different topics inside of here. And there's even drop downs as well. The last option that we have here is placements. So this is if you wanted to show up on a specific website, specific app, or specific YouTube channel, you can come through and target those. So you can come through and add specific websites inside of here, or specific YouTube channels. Like if you wanted to come in and run ads on ZoCo marketing, you could type in ZoCo marketing, pop up inside of here. I think there's gotta be a space. So yeah, so you can come through and run ads specifically on my YouTube channel. If you wanted to, you can come through and click that and run display ads on a specific channel. Or if you wanted to target someone like Mr. Beast or other channels like that, you could do so as well. But a very powerful option if you wanted to get specific and you know that somebody is on a specific website where you want to show banner ads. So now that we have that out of the way, we're going to exit out of this and we're going to stick with our in-market targeting and that we have up above. And we're going to now scroll down. We're going to hit next. And that will take us to a page that looks something like this, where we actually go through and create our display ads. Now you notice here that in progress is a responsive display ad. This is the kind of newer, not newer, I mean, it's been around for a long time, but if you just have regular banner ads that you have uploaded and a designer went through and made them for you, you can come over here to change and you can upload display ads direct. And if you wanted to go that route and you're wondering how to create display ads, there's lots of different options. You can come over to Fiverr and just type in Google display ads and literally get somebody to build out a bunch of display ads for you, for $20, $15, $5 inside of here. This is a great option if you want to just pre-built banner ads that kind of all match each other, or you can even come into Canva and type in ads, and there's lots of different formats and templates that you can use inside of here as well for your Google display ads. But if you wanted to do something quickly and that's a little bit more optimized, I recommend going with the responsive display ads, and I'll show you how to build those right here. So the first thing is we have our URL, and make sure this is HTTPS. That's why it's giving us that little error there. There we go. And then our business name, this is going to be Mozo House. And then images. So now we can come through and add up to 15 images inside of here. So you can see Google went through and crawled our website and suggested a few, but we want to add a couple inside of here. And the great thing is you have your asset library. So this will show you anything that you've uploaded inside of the account, but you can also go through and crawl your website itself. And here are some of the images that Google came through and found on my website, or you can scan your Facebook page or any of the other socials that Google can find. So a lot of times your Instagram account or your LinkedIn account may be inside of here. I don't have those connected for this demo e-commerce account, so those options aren't inside of there. Or you can come through and upload your own images as well. And even Google has stock images if you wanted to go through and find stock. So say that we wanted home decor things, we could come through and they have a partnership with Shutterstock, as you can see here, where you can come through and add stock photos as well. And don't worry, this little Shutterstock thing won't actually show up on the ad itself, but another option for you to come through and add different ratios. You notice when I click inside of here, it gives me the option to select a 1:91:1 or a 1:1, and you can kind of go through and edit to make sure it's showing in the right spot. As you can see, I probably wouldn't want that to show right there. I probably want this mirror inside of there, so I want to adjust it that way. And then here we can adjust it up and down and select that ratio. Say that maybe I didn't love this ratio, how it's maybe cutting it off. I can exit out of there and only show the one ratio and select that. You'll notice here in this left side, we can add up to 15 images. I do recommend adding the most amount of images possible because this just allows Google to test and show images that are going to get people likely to convert. So we have a few of these Shutterstock images inside of here. We're going to go through and add a few of those. We're going to select the ratio, but we're going to come back to our website because it's not really best practice to show these home decor things for something that I don't actually sell. So I'm actually going to grab some of these some of these images right here. And as you see, this one doesn't qualify for the 1:91 just because of the shape of it, but that's okay. We're going to select the one ratio here. We're going to do the same thing and then here as well. So now we have some images selected. Like I said, I do recommend if you're actually going to go through and run a campaign that you select at least 15 images if possible. If not, I mean, 1 to 2 will do, but the more you can give Google the test, the better. Last thing is we're going to come over here and add our logo, and we're just going to pretend that this is the logo for Mozo House. I don't have a file for it right now on hand. But as you can see, what this is going to do now is create all these like beautiful banner ads for us. Like they kind of go through and mix and match them. You can see what they look like on websites and apps or YouTube and Gmail as well, what those are going to show up like. And then down here as well, you can go through and add videos. This can be really helpful if you do have some good video assets. These have to be uploaded to YouTube in order for you to run them. But this isn't like an absolute needed thing to do. It's something that can help your display ads, but not necessarily needed. Finally, we come through and we need to go through and add a few different headlines. So you can see Google's pulling some content from my website. I'm just gonna go through and add these. I know they don't really make sense for this content, but just to show you the example, you can add up to 5 different headlines. I do recommend filling out all the headlines as well inside of here. And then also we have long headlines that you can go through and do. We're going to go through and add those descriptions as well. And now that we've added those headlines, you can scroll back up and see once again kind of a preview of what these are going to end up looking like. You can come through and refresh different asset combos to see kind of how everything looks and blends together, and see a lot of different ads for you. You can come down here and see show more and click through all of the different options. Show even more. Like there's a ton of different combinations that all of a sudden, if you give them different images, headlines, and things, that it will allow you to show. You can also go through and select the specific asset preview. So if you wanted to see a specific headline, description, and images together, you could do that. Now you notice how up here in the top right hand corner, right now my ad strength is average because I don't have a lot of images inside of here. I don't have any videos, and the headline and descriptions are limited as well. I mean, I only have 3 out of the 5 and 3 out of the 5. So like I said, I can't stress the importance enough of getting this to an excellent score essentially inside of this quality score. Finally, wrapping things up, if you scroll down here, there's additional formatting options as well. I recommend keeping all of these checked, and then there's also more options right here. You can come through and add custom colors if you would like. Say you wanted to go to like a color picker and choose your exact color font or whatever it may be. Go through, find your font. We're just going to take this guy right here. We're just going to go there. We're going to grab this, and then say we wanted it to be this nice display green. We can come through and add the accent color here, and you're going to notice what that's going to do is then it's going to render, take a second for it to load. You're going to notice now our CTA inside of the CTA is now going to be green inside of here. And then you could go through and do the same thing and make, if you wanted to make this ugly color the main color as well, you could do that as well. So now that we have that all done, we can then go through and hit create ad, and then we can hit next. And then now this goes through and shows us a overview of the settings that we have. It looks like we have some sort of error in our ad, so we can go through and fix it. Let's see what this error is exactly. And then main color, oops, we got that all messed up. So we're gonna add this from playing around with that setting. So there we go. So then we can hit next. And then from here, now we'll be able to go back checking for errors. So there we have all of our different settings. We can now publish the campaign. And here is our specific ad group. And I forgot to name this right here. So I'm going to actually really quick name this to, this is a custom segment targeting. So I like to name it based on the targeting. So custom segment, and we're going to save that right there. Now, if you wanted to go through and run an A/B test and see which audiences perform better, I do recommend just coming right here and taking this and then doing copy, and then you can come through and paste this right here, paste it inside of the option in this display campaign. We're going to hit done and paste that. What that's going to do is it's going to copy and paste all the different settings that you have inside of this ad group. But what you can do is go through and actually change the audience so you can A/B test the audiences that you're going to be running. So this is going to run in just a second and take a few minutes, and we'll come back when this is done pasting. All right, so now we have our custom segments targeting number 2. So what you can do here is go in through and edit this, and you can go through and here's our ad, but we want to go to the audiences, and here you can go through and change the audience targeting. So say that we want to change the audience, we can come over here to edit audience segments, and then it's going to drop you back into this view right here where you can go through and change the targeting. So now say instead of using our custom segment that we have inside of here, we can come through and exit out of that. And then say we want to target these, the in-market audiences. We can do in-market here and then come over here, and then we can target the home decor enthusiasts. Save that. And then what we'll do is change the ad group name so that we know which one is which. Then you can click on the settings and come over and change the name. So instead of custom segment 2, you can change this to in-market home decor. And like I said, this is an optional thing. If you just want to go through and test the different audiences, that's how I go through and test those. Not something that you have to necessarily do. You can stick with the one ad group if you'd like. But let's go back to our display campaign here. And I want to run through some settings that's important for you to know after your campaign, or as soon as you build this, I want you to go through and do a couple of different other things to optimize the performance of your campaign. So if you ever need to come through and change anything in your ads, you can come in this, and this is where you can come through and edit those ads at any time. Right here is your landing pages. Here's the audiences that you can go through and edit as well. And this is where you can see the performance of those different audiences inside of the campaign, essentially. But where I want to focus a lot of your attention is on this tab right here, content. Now inside of here, this is where you can see where your topics, placements, and then also your display video and keywords. and then where your ads show. So this is really important to be checking, especially when you're running a display campaign, because a lot of times your ads can show up on kind of crappy websites. So it's important for you to keep an eye on this right here, basically on a daily, weekly, depending on how much you're spending basis, to see if there's any bad websites that you're showing up for, like websites that just look really bad, you don't want to associate your brand with. Now, if you want to get a head start on building out a list like this, I recommend come over here to the exclusions. I have right here a negative placements list that I built out over the years for negative placements, that just websites that you probably don't want to show up for. They're just really crappy, really spammy. Essentially, as you can see, there's a list of over, like, what is this, 30,000 inside of here. I recommend just taking this, copy this entire thing. We're just going to take a section for now. Come over here to exclusions, and then come over here, and then instead of topic exclusions, we want to go to placement exclusions, and then go through and click this little edit button, exclude placements. And then from here, we can go through and hit enter, and then come over this way and then enter multiple placements URLs, paste in a list. You can paste in that list right here and then hit save. And what that's going to do is then make sure that you don't show up for a lot of these just known really bad websites. So go through and copy this entire list inside of here, because I'm sure it will save you lots of money in the long run. Now it's going to take a second for this to load in. You see the changes that have been made, view details. We can see that inside of here. And then there you can see your changes have been made. You can view the details if you would like. And if you wanted to go through and add exclusions as well for display, video, keyword exclusions, or topic exclusions, you could do that as well. Like I said, utilize this list as mobile exclusion list, YouTube channels. It even has keywords as well if you wanted to go through and exclude those. I'll leave a link to this down below. And that's pretty much everything there is to know about Google display ads. Thank you so much for making it this far into the video and watching everything all the way through. If you did and you did find value, I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. And if you love tutorials like this and diving deep into Google ads like display ads, I recommend checking out this dynamic search ads campaign, which will walk you through how to create Google dynamic search ads. We'll talk to you in the next one.